What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Apollos Harris, aka The Wise One, coming at y'all once again, live and correct. It's early Friday morning, here in Texas. I'm looking at the time now. It is now 6:16 in the a.m. So today's topic, right? There is no enemy. There's only rich and powerful man playing. Now, the only reason why I say that now, if you're old school like me, right? Well, I ain't even necessarily gotta. I'm not even gonna say that you gotta necessarily be old school. But back in the day, you had those little green army men, right? And everybody was actually like positioned a certain way. You had the grenade man, right? And then you had the guy that was like, well, you really can't see but you get what the fuck what I'm trying to get at here, right? Now, the only reason why I say that is because if you actually like really go back and look at this country's history, every 10 years, right, this country has went to war, or they created some shit where they can actually like really go to war, right? And this is something that I really don't have to tell y'all, that you get these rich and powerful individuals, they will actually like really fund both sides of the war, right? But, in saying that, right, you gotta actually like really stop and think about it for a minute. Okay, well, why actually why do this? Well, it's quite simple. When you're rich and when you're powerful, you tend to get bored, right? So you go out and you create some shit. Basically, this is all what the fuck this is, right? I look at it from the First World War to 9/11 to ISIS to all of the false flags that have actually like been out there, right? Because honestly, if I actually really stop and think about it, I was actually really talking to my good friend, Mr. Rambo Zach, a while back, and basically what I told him, and we both agreed on it, is just that, hey, you know what? The first World War One, right? And you probably can even go back earlier than that. But let's just say for right now that World War One was probably the first false flag that this country actually initiated. If you actually really go back and look at, okay, well, what caused the war, right? And then you go back and you look at what happened back in 1941 with Pearl Harbor. These motherfuckers knew, but then shit happened, right? And then you go even a little bit further, you go to 2001. These motherfuckers knew, but then nothing happened, right? So it's almost like, okay, the shit was there, the recipe was there, or the formula, whatever the hell you actually really want to call it, right? It was there. It's always been there, right? And basically all what they do is just light the fuse or whatever, or cut the stove on, wait for the oven to preheat, and then once the little buzzer goes off, you go in there and you put in whatever the fuck you concocted, and then wait for it to rise, and then there it is. Then you actually really go out here and you put it out, and you actually really hope and think that the masses is actually really gonna believe the shit which you just concocted, right? I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm a 20-year veteran, right? And out of the stuff that I've actually really seen go down, right? A lot of it, if not all of it, is just bullshit, really. But enough of that right now. So here's the deal, people. Right? There's a lot of us that are actually like really woke. Some of us are still asleep. Some of us are drowsy, right? So you really actually gotta like actually like really stop and think about it. Okay, well, which one are you? I think I said this last night. Are you woke? Are you drowsy? Are you about to go to sleep? Or you like just dead to the world? Which one are you? Right? So the thing, so this what you have to actually really stop and think about it for a minute. And then let me backtrack for a minute, because I've actually like really said this before on my Facebook page. As far as like being rich and powerful men. Well, rich and powerful men also have rich and powerful children, right? So you gotta look at it like this, okay? These rich and powerful men, they move into a new neighborhood or whatever, right? And then your child comes out with all these toys, right? And then they actually like really invite all of the kids over to play with the toys. And then after a while, that kid teaches everybody to play with the toys. And then once the other kids have a good idea of how these toys work, then that rich kid go ahead and say, you know what, since you know how to play with that toy real good, you go ahead, you keep that one, you keep that one, and you keep that one. But, because I'm going to get me some new toys, right? And then here within the next couple of days, we going to play an army or whatever, and then I'm going to see how well you can play with that toy that I just gave you. Now, if you can actually really decipher what the fuck I just said, which if you actually really stop and think about it, really ain't no deciphering to that. I pretty much just told you what actually really goes on a daily basis with these rich and powerful men. It ain't no doggone enemy, because you guys actually really look at it like this. With all of this stuff that went down with North Korea and South Korea for the past couple of days, you actually really got to stop and think about it for a minute. These rich and powerful people, they live on the same planet as everybody else, right? Now, I could care less about all these goddamn underground tunnels and all this kind of shit that they have, all of the food supplies that they may have, water sources, air, the whole nine. Okay, I got all that. But you also gotta stop and think about it. You also gotta stop and think about it for a minute. Do you want to actually really be, or do these motherfuckers, right? Do they actually want to be labeled as a fish for the rest of their lives? And now the only reason why I say fish, because a fish can't, once you take a fish out the water, right? And if you keep the fish out the water long enough, that motherfucker gonna die, right? And so basically, let's just say if these motherfuckers, everybody in the room, they get mad at each other, right? And they say, well, fuck you, I'm gonna send off a nuke, and then all this shit is gonna be polluted, and then everybody's gonna be underground. That really ain't no way to live, right? So I've always said this, right? Ain't shit gonna happen, right? Yes, noise will be made. And basically that's all what the fuck is gonna be. Noise will be made. These motherfuckers are not that goddamn stupid where they gonna blow up everything. So just think about it for a minute. All these motherfuckers are in a room, everybody got a gun to their head, and everybody's actually like really looking at some fact like, well, hey, can I really squeeze one off and duck out the way, right? What's the chances of me actually like really getting out of this room unscathed, right? So, but again, people, they're like what I said, ain't shit gonna happen. Everybody's safe for the most part, but I will say this much, right? With all of this technology that's out there now, right? The depopulation of the human race that is happening with all of these motherfucking sex robots and homosexuality their gender, same-sex marriage, all this stuff. I mean, just think about it for a minute. A lot of the shit that's actually really going on right now is 9 times out of 10 is planned by these rich and powerful men, right? Now, if you a man and you choose to actually like have feelings for another man, or if you're a woman and you choose to have feelings for another woman, hey, do you. But at the same time, you actually might want to stop and think about what it is that's actually really going on here. You know, because everybody will actually want to say, hey, MK Ultra is only for the motherfuckers in Hollywood. No, the fucking hey, MK Ultra affects every goddamn body. And if you think I'm bullshitting, hey, just go back and listen to the past 30 seconds of what the fuck I just said. So, that being said, this is Apollos Harris, aka The Wiseman, with another show. Hey, go out, tell your friends, like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'm out.